Hey everyone, and welcome. So today we are on an absolute mission. We're taking the 2024 Emergency Response Guidebook, you probably know it as the ERG, and we're going to decode it. We're taking it from a dense government manual and turning it into a real life-saving on-the-ground survival tool. So whether you're a first responder, an emergency management student, or just someone fascinated by how chaos is managed in the real world, you are exactly where you need to be.
Now, here's the thing you really have to understand right out of the gate. This guidebook is engineered for pure chaos. It's built specifically for the very first 30 minutes of a hazardous materials incident. We're talking about that tiny, terrifying window where confusion is at its absolute peak, nobody knows what's going on, and the stakes, well, they are quite literally life and death.
To help you master this, we've got a clear mental roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the first 30 minutes. Then we're cracking the color code, jumping right into the 5-step response, looking at placards and advanced threats, and finally, we'll lock in those absolutely crucial rules of survival. I promise to break this entire manual down into an easy cheat code for you. Ready? Let's go.
All right, part 1, the first 30 minutes. Let's step right into the incredibly high-stakes reality of arriving first on the scene of a completely unknown chemical spill. So picture this. You've just arrived. The exact moment you put your vehicle in park, your brain needs a fast decision path. Your mission here is really simple. Identify, isolate, protect. That's it. Notice what's purposely left off that list. Cleanup. Right, the ERG is a rapid decision tool for establishing safety and control zones immediately. It's absolutely not some dense chemical encyclopedia meant for long-term cleanup operations. You leave that for later.
Okay, moving to part 2, cracking the color code. Honestly, this is where the magic really happens. I want you to think of the ERG's 4 main colors as basically the ultimate decoder ring for a deadly puzzle. We have 4 core sections we need to walk through methodically. Yellow is your UN or NA number index. Blue is your alphabetical material name index. Orange gives you the actual response guides, what you need to do. And green, that one dictates your critical isolation distances. Memorizing these 4 colors and knowing exactly what they trigger is literally the single most important skill for any responder. Let's look at the identification phase. Depending on the clues you have, you're going to rely on either the yellow or the blue sections. So, say you pull up to a scene, grab your binoculars, and you spot a 4-digit number on an orange panel. Maybe it says 1203. Boom, you jump straight into the yellow pages. But what if you only have a shipping paper from the driver that just has the chemical's name like gasoline? In that case, you flip to the blue pages. Either way, yellow or blue, your end goal is exactly the same. You're just trying to find your specific 3-digit guide number. Once you have that 3-digit guide number, you enter the action phase. Now, it's really interesting how the orange and green pages split their duties here. You turn to the orange pages to figure out your immediate fire and health hazards. That's your on-scene playbook. But, and this is a massive but, if your entry in the yellow or blue pages was highlighted in green, well, that's a huge red flag. It means you have to immediately jump to the green pages because you're dealing with a highly toxic material and you need critical evacuation and isolation distances right now. Bringing us to part 3, the 5-step response. Let's actually put this color code to the test in a ticking clock scenario. Take a look at this. It's the master ERG navigation flowchart. And yeah, I know it looks incredibly dense and maybe a bit overwhelming at first glance. But hey, don't panic. We are going to break this flowchart down so it becomes absolute second nature to you. We can basically translate that crazy complex flowchart into 5 punchy sequential steps that will dictate your every single move. Step 1, identify the hazard at the scene. Step 2, find the UN number or the name. Step 3, get your 3-digit guide number. Step 4, go directly to the orange pages for your action plan. And finally, step 5, check those green pages if your material was highlighted. See? 5 simple steps to completely control the chaos. Let's see how this all builds using a specific real-world narrative. Just imagine an overturned tanker on the highway, and it's leaking a mysterious vapor. You look closely, and the placard shows UN 1017. Okay, steps 1 and 2. You pop open your yellow pages and find that 1017 is chlorine. Step 3. The book tells you to use Guide 124. Step 4. You flip over to the orange pages, Guide 124, and it basically screams at you that this stuff is toxic and corrosive. But wait, remember earlier? Chlorine was highlighted in your yellow pages. So step 5, you immediately flip to the green pages and realize, wow, you need to isolate this area and evacuate the public right this second. It's amazing how efficiently the book just leads you by the hand, right? Moving on to part 4, placards and advanced threats. Now we're shifting our focus to the visual clues actually stuck on the containers themselves and those massive, unseen threats they represent. Because out in the real world, you don't always start with a nice, clean UN number. Sometimes you just have to rely on visual clues. So let's quickly decode these critical diamond-shaped warning placards that responders just have to recognize instantly. Red? That means flammable. Think fire and explosion. A black and white placard showing liquid eating through a hand or a piece of metal? That's corrosive. What about a white placard with a skull and crossbones? You guessed it, poison or toxic gas. And a yellow and white split with that classic radiation symbol simply means radioactive. You need to be able to identify these from literally hundreds of feet away.
Now, we absolutely have to talk about a terrifying concept, TIH, which stands for toxic inhalation hazard. These are materials that can kill you simply through inhalation. We're talking things like chlorine, ammonia, or phosgene. If you spot this hazard, it mandates immediate isolation and atmospheric monitoring. Breathing the wrong air around these is completely fatal. And this right here is exactly why you make that immediate life-saving jump straight to the green pages.
And then there's the BLEVE. That stands for Boiling Liquid Expanding Vapor Explosion. This is basically the catastrophic failure of a pressurized, flammable liquid tank because it gets too hot. Let's say a tanker of propane is on fire. The warning signs are downright terrifying. If you hear this rising, high-pitched noise coming from the tank's safety valve, or you see direct flames just blasting the tank wall, that is a BLEVE waiting to happen. You do not try to put it out from up close. No way. You evacuate, far away, immediately.
Let's also contrast some key metrics that honestly catch a lot of people off guard. The ERG differentiates between small spills, which is under 55 gallons, and large spills, over 55 gallons. Simple enough, but what's really fascinating is the day versus night evacuation distances. Night distances are actually way larger. Why? Well, because cooler night air keeps those toxic vapors heavily concentrated right close to the ground, rather than letting the sun's heat disperse them into the atmosphere like it does during the day. It's just a brilliant piece of science, and knowing it absolutely saves lives.
Okay, we've made it to part 5, Rules of Survival. It is time to consolidate all this decoded information into some rapid, hard-hitting rules for field survival. Guys, these are the golden mantras of the ERG. Read them, memorize them, live them. Rule number 1, always approach uphill, upwind, and upstream. Just keep the danger away from you. 2, maximize your time, distance, and shielding. 3, when in doubt, always treat the situation as the absolute worst-case scenario. It's always better to isolate more, not less. And 4, never ever walk through vapor clouds. Seriously, these are non-negotiable laws on any incident scene. All right, before we wrap this up, it's time for a high-pressure, rapid-fire memory drill. This is straight from the study guide to simulate field recall. What are UN 1203 and UN 105? Come on, lock your answers in right now. Got 'em? Let's see if you got it. UN 1203 is gasoline, and UN 1005 is ammonia. Excellent job if you nailed those. Look, repetition is what builds that automatic recognition you need as an emergency management student or a field responder. When the adrenaline hits, you want these common, everyday chemical numbers completely hardwired into your brain. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought. If you arrive at a crowded highway, you spot a white skull placard through your binoculars, and you look up your chemical only to find a green highlighted entry, how fast can you establish the hot zone before the wind shifts? The weight of this knowledge is literally a matter of life and death. It's all about taking those first 30 minutes and totally owning them. Thank you so much for joining me to decode the ERG today. Take this knowledge, stay safe out there, and I will catch you on the next explainer.